Welcome back, everybody. It's Tuesday, Museday. I'm Kalani, and so nice to be here. Are you guys feeling it? Oh, it's kind of a mellow day today. Here in LA, it rained most of the day, and I didn't get to experience the rain much except running over to Home Depot twice because they gave me the wrong color paint for my studio remodel, which you guys can't see at all, but I made a video that I'm going to post soon for patrons because I just thought you might be interested in seeing how I remodeled my little studio here. Super happy with the way it turned out. That's all. So let's say hello. I'm glad to see you. So 23 is here. And Roseanne. Oh, wow. Kodo's playing. That's awesome. Tomorrow. Ooh. Guess who has tickets? I mean, I guess a lot of people, if they're playing at the Arts Center. That holds a lot of people. I wouldn't know where to start. No, congratulations. That is awesome. Enjoy that. Neil's here. Welcome. Sienna. Nice to see you again. And Rebecca. Hello, hello. And Bill is here. I see. All right. Well, it's nice to see you all. I appreciate you guys showing up. I feel like there's a little more music to be made, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to talk about this instrument, which I haven't played in a long time. I'm not even sure I've played this particular tongue drum throughout the entire history of Tuesday Museday. Maybe, but I don't know. But I had this a long time. I'll tell you about it in a second. Let's do a little... Maybe we can feature it. Welcome, everybody. All right. How's it sounding out there, you guys? Hopefully good. I want to see. Welcome, Kenneth. Kenneth is here. And who else? Samula. You got to give me. You got to give me some help with that one. Sorry. Can I call you Sammy? All right. American. All right. But welcome. Nice to see some new names and I guess icons in a few photos. Hey, can I send you guys? Let me see. Can I send? I can send him. Sammy. All right. Good. Thank you. Off the hook. Where are you joining us, Sammy? Where are you joining us from? Let us know. I can say hello in this chat. Yeah. Okay. I can't send any emojis, I guess, or anything like that because I'm using a piece of software. By the way, I use a thing called Ecamm Live. That's ECAMM Live. Just in case you're wondering what I use for live streaming. Sweden in the house. All right. Persia. Is it Persia or Persa? Persia. Headland. All right, KL Malaysia. Nice. I love KL. I've been there many times. Have a lot of friends in Malaysia and Singapore. So welcome. And yeah, it's nice that you're joining. It must be it's got to be morning, right? Wednesday morning. Cornelius is here. Welcome, my friend. All right, we have so many people joining in from all around. That's awesome, you guys. I appreciate it. And I hope you get something that you can take and use from this and make your life better, more how you want it to be. Today's theme was, what did I put for today's theme? Now I forgot. I had the idea and I forgot. Oh, what's new? That's what I put. Well, there's two meanings to that. One is I have this new studio space that I, put together, and I talked about that already. The other thing is what is new is what we need to focus on. It's kind of a trick question. It's not a trick question. What's new is what you notice. And I hope you guys are noticing things because that is the way that I'm going to skip ahead. And I'm going to go straight to music mindfulness for a second. I want to talk about music mindfulness right now. Yes, we're skipping Guess the Sound for now. Because I just read this post today on social media somewhere. And it was one of those posts where the person who made the post was talking about how they got terminal cancer and they were a young person, like mid-20s. And they were talking about all the priorities, all the things that suddenly became way more important, and also all the things that became not important at all. Like, for example, investing in experiences and not things, right? And often we get hung up in having things. And I don't mean just a tangible item that you could hold or, that you could go for a ride in. I mean things like even like collecting information, like collecting rhythms, collecting songs. I mean, those are also things that we can end up kind of bringing into our lives and gathering. It's this idea of gathering stuff, right? We try to gather things and like pack it around ourselves like we're some sort of hermit crab or an octopus trying to, decorate ourselves. And this person was reiterating something I think that we can all get behind, which is, okay, things are fine, things are things, but as somebody else as a wise person once said, the most important things in life are not things. They are experiences, and I would argue that they are aesthetic experiences that have a certain quality and a certain feeling. I'll just use the word feeling to mean, the experience of something, the aesthetic and emotional, the qualitative experience of a situation. Let's put it that way. And I try to organize my life and lead my life in a way that maximizes the amount of favorable or desirable experiences, because I feel like that's the most important thing. Why? Because life is an experience. Life is an aesthetic experience. It's a sensory experience. And when we get too much into our heads, and a lot of the mindfulness teachers talk about this, when we get too much into our heads, in other words, we let our brains kind of take over and try to run things. It's not a good idea, because our brains are good at one thing, really, which is kind of like solving problems. So our brains always think of everything as a problem to be solved. What's the meaning of life? What happens after you die? What blah blah blah? Well, what about all these? And a lot of those questions are, you could spend a lifetime on them. There's no one answer. I mean, go for it if you want. And there's nothing wrong with a thought experiment. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, or doing puzzles for fun. But don't do that in lieu of having the experiences that you want. So just go, try to, I would just encourage you, and even if it's just go outside and, be in nature. It's the simple things, right? Just simple things, everyday things. Being able to see colors and feel shapes and textures, and all your senses, like smelling delicious food or tasting food. These are the things that Rumi, the poet, the famous Persian poet, was writing about. It's just all this regular stuff. The stars at night, the sound of a stream, the just looking at being at the ocean, or being in the mountains, or being around children playing, the sound of children playing. Carl Orff once said the greatest symphony ever written is the sound of children's laughter. So let's remember that those are the things that can give our lives real quality and a real nice textural feeling and sensory feeling. And it's not all this stuff. All right. All right. So that's my soapboxy stuff. But what do you guys think? And as you're thinking about that, and if you want to add anything along those lines, go ahead. It's fine. Lacey's here. Welcome. So I want to review the things I was using in the little live stream today, in the opening music. So I started off with this. Is the system on? Okay, system audio is on. Sorry. I want to make sure my computer's set right, because sometimes it changes. And Roseanne just said, yeah, if you have a Facebook account, you can follow our World Drum Club Facebook group, or page, or whatever it is. I guess it's a group. I don't know I don't know the difference between anything anymore. This tongue drum, let me show you this. This is a Hardwood Music Company tongue drum, and it's canary wood, I believe. I've had this a long time. Isn't that beautiful? And I'll show you the sides. It's a little beat up because I've used this a lot. And right over here, you can see Michael Thiel signed it, and he actually wrote Michael Thiel for Kalani. And it's, is it March? Well, some month. It's either May or March. 1993, you guys. 1993. I bet that's before some of you were born. Maybe not. But I've had that a long time, right? What is that, 32 years? And it still sounds amazing. It's a little, it's got personality. Let's put it that way. But I want to play this for you. All right, and also Michael Thiel gave me these little mallets with it, which I really like, and I still have them. So I'm using these little yarn mallets. You can use your hands, which I like to do. You can get chords. You just kind of attack this thing. I've used this a lot for taking to play in yoga classes and retreats. Really nice. Really like it. So I want to send you guys over if you're interested and if you have the means and you want to get something like this. Go to Hardwood Music Company, I think is their website, hardwoodmusiccompany.com. Michael and Joa Thiel. Joa is Michael's son, and he's taking over the business now, and he's also a craftsman, artisan. All right, and then before the show, and this is to answer the question: how do you know? How do you know what key flute goes with what tongue drum, or how do you know? Well, I mean, one way you can find out is to get out your tuner and go through every note on an instrument and just write it down and figure it out intellectually. I didn't do that in this case. Today, I put this in a looper, and then I just started pulling flutes off the wall, and I just played them, and I found one that I liked that fit, and that is this one. And this flute is a B minor. This is a B Native American style flute, and when we say B, we mean B minor sound. And this is gorgeous, and this is monkey pod wood. It's made by my friend Brent Haynes at Wood Sounds Flutes, and that's monkey pod. Beautiful flute, and it sounds amazing too, you guys, doesn't it? It's so pure. Yeah, so I really like these two together. I think they sounded great together, and that's all I did. Is I just I put this in a looper, and then I kind of played flutes until I found one that I liked, and that's what you can do too. You just use your ear and listen. And then I added some cajon, which I have down here, and then a conga drum over here. Got a couple congas, and then the usual stuff. Got a little shaker, which incidentally this is my shaker that I made. Oh, it's got a dent. I like that. It's got a little dimple now. This is from Yakult Containers, the yogurt drink. A lot of companies make these now in this style, but I made a video on how you can make these. I really like these. Just a nice middle of the road shaker sound, and super light too. A little fragile, so I wouldn't throw it in a box of stuff and carry it around to gigs unless you have like a shaker tube that you put. It's a little extra, isn't it? Yeah, your shaker container, and you go on your gig and you open it up and you pull your shaker out. But if whatever works, you guys, if you want to use your shaker like that, make a little case for it. And then what else did I have? Oh, this thing I got from our buddy Butch Norton, and Butch is a friend of the channel, amazing drummer, percussionist. He loves to improvise and experiment with sounds. So Butch was by the studio. There's also a couple videos with Butch Norton, so you guys can go to the channel and look for those and watch them. I think you'll learn something. And Butch is just such a great player, but he's also super creative and just thinks outside the box. So this is Perrier bottle with some BBs inside and a little baby rattle scrunchie. I mean, that's all that is. That's just a baby rattle scrunchie thing. Or two. Oh, there's two of them. One and two. So that's kind of the way he gave it to me. I like it. And the inside, like I said, it has these BBs. So that was kind of like a callback to the rain sound today. The rain vibe. But obviously you can take the scrunchy things off. You can use them separately, together, whatever. I just keep it together because I like to keep it together. All right, I think that's about it. Any questions? Does anybody have any questions or requests? And 23 saying, oh, I heard the tongue drum in E minor, or which is only one note different. I was thinking about E minor actually before, and I'm not sure. You know what? Let's try it. Because B minor and E minor are not that far apart, right? They're in the circle of fifths. They're next to each other. So I think Let's see how the E minor flute. I think the B minor fits better, but let's see. Yeah, I mean that works too. I think I do prefer the B minor a little more, but either one works. It just depends on, what you prefer, what kind of sound you want. All right. So what is that? Sammy said, I also made my own shaker and they're always with me everywhere I go. Oh, that's nice. I love that. You know, it's if you have a shaker with you and you're somewhere and people are playing or singing or you want to start something, you just start with a little shaker groove and you can always join in, right? Join in the band. And Santa says, I have 4 different tongue drums. Wow, that's nice. And are they all tuned differently? They're all different, or are they similar? Do they fit together? That's something that you can look at too. If you guys are shopping for a tongue drum, what I would recommend is start off with a very open, popular key like A minor, like white keys on the piano, and then maybe move to something pretty common like D minor or E minor. Those are common minor keys in a lot of music, probably more so because guitars tend to play in E minor or D minor. Um, but even like G minor is okay, like a flat key. Um, and then from there, if you've got those covered, like one of each, maybe A minor and an E minor, then get something really exotic. And I've got a few that are a little more exotic. And when I say exotic, I mean they have maybe more half steps in them. And you can get some interesting scales and experience, some more exotic scales than maybe what you're used to. Or if you're used to exotic scales, then you can go the other way and get something a little more plain sounding. And it's not, I'm not saying one is better than the other, just different textures, different effects. So it's good to have both. And okay, so 23 saying the B minor flute gives it a spicy flavor. Yeah, I think so. And E minor, Roseanne said the E minor flute has a more ethereal sound. Yeah, I mean, they're all different, right? And I'm not going to try to analyze it right now, but of course, depending on the background, whatever foreground instrument, in other words, whatever soloing instrument you're using, that isn't a fixed scale like these flutes are, they're pretty much fixed. They have some chromaticism, but they're basically diatonic. Um, for the most part, you can push them to chromatic, but they play most naturally in a diatonic, with a few chromatic exceptions, pretty well. And then you have to start getting into a lot of fancy fingering to go fully chromatic. But that being said, the scale, the foreground instrument, in other words, your soloing instrument choice will define the relationships to the background, right? And then that relationship can be whatever. It can be more minor sounding. It can be more major sounding. It can have different notes in the scale that seem to be raised or lowered or whatever, sharp, flat. It all depends on the relationship to the background. So yeah, and that's the nice thing about I like about the flutes is that you can just pick up a different flute and you have a different relationship. You don't have to really understand what it is intellectually because you're not playing a keyboard, a chromatic instrument, and making those choices yourself. You're kind of letting the instrument do it for you based on the restrictions that the instrument places on the music that you play. In other words, I can only play these sets of notes. I can only play this set of notes on the B minor flute, pretty much. And I can play this set of notes on the E minor flute, pretty much. And therefore, they have different qualities over the same background. Yeah, so that's awesome. And Santa said, I have a pocket-sized tongue drum. Ooh, that's nice. A pocket-sized tongue drum. How big is it? Is it like about as big as your hand, or I guess either that or you have giant pockets? It's got to be one or the other. Um, let's see. Are there any questions or announcements? Does anybody have any? And I'm going to think about um, the Gimme 5 coming up. So we can do that. We can start moving in that direction right now, and we'll have plenty of time. So for those of you who are new, just note, Gimme 5 is where you guys on your own select 5 instruments from what I have kind of here in the studio, and put them in a little list in a post, and then Roseanne will choose somebody, and I will loop together those instruments to the best of my ability. And if you would like a certain tempo, like just slow, medium, fast, or you want to have a certain style, I will do my best to accommodate those requests. No guarantees, of course, but I'll do my best. Yeah. So Santa said that your tongue drum is 3 inches. Wow. How many notes does it have on it? It's got to be pretty tiny. All right. Let's see. I'm trying to think of any other news that's happening this week. I've been just working on this studio like a mad person because I didn't want it to drag on and on. And I wanted to get in here today and do this show and have my studio, not full of stuff, because I moved a lot of things in here so I could work out on the other side of this wall over here. Um, but I'm excited to make the video of the construction process because I show the whole thing kind of from the start to the finish. And I have to edit together the video, but I'll post that on the Patreon site. And so if you're a patron, you can see that later. And even if you're a free patron, um, it's okay. We do have some people that join as free patrons, which is, I don't want to say it's not being a patron, it's being a free patron, but we are member supported, you guys. So please, if you can at all, contribute something. Really appreciate it. It keeps this whole channel moving, and helps me hire like other teachers to bring in for you guys, because I do pay other teachers when I have them teach a master class or a mini course, or I have them in or do something, because we gotta take care of each other. So I do spend some money on that, which I do need to get back to doing. And Roseanne just put the link for Hardwood Music. Thank you. Hardwood Music Company. Yeah, if you go to Hardwood Music, I think it's a band, and it's not those guys. So go to hardwoodmusiccompany.com, and they have a really nice website too. They're doing a great job over there, keeping everything current. Um, but yeah, go check out their work. I just think it's inspiring, whether you purchase one of their instruments or not. It's just nice to see what people are doing to create music. So, all right, Cornelius is in with a suggestion, I see. And let's see, tongue drum, bottle shaker, congas, flute, uke. I could definitely do that. That's kind of what we had in the first part. Oh yeah, and I didn't talk about the ukulele. I did play the ukulele in the beginning, and I have it running through this pod. This is a very old effects unit that I got from a buddy. He gave it to me. It's made by Line 6, which is a brand. And I've just been having fun. I just turn the dial. I plug in the ukulele. I turn the dial to these different settings, and then I find something that's like, oh, it's kind of cool. It's kind of a throwback. Like, it reminds me of some of the sounds in the 70s and 80s when everybody was into chorus and tremolo putting on their guitars. So it makes the electric ukulele, to me, it makes it a little more interesting. And I feel like when you're using an electric instrument that is typically acoustic, that the best thing, in my opinion, the best thing to do is to maybe lean into the electric sound of it, because you're not going to, let me see, you're not going to replicate, and this, watch this beat, totally out of tune. Let me see. Not bad. Right? This is an acoustic ukulele. This is a Hawaiian-made mele ukulele. Beautiful ukulele. But you're not going to improve on this with an electric thing, I don't think, right? So acoustic is great if you're going for an acoustic sound. But, and again, this is just my opinion, but if you're going to use a plastic ukulele like this one, why not lean into, because here's the acoustic sound. Like, right? Like, compared to the other one, I mean, come on. This is okay, but that's why this is better. So it's a little fun. All right, do we have a Gimme Fiber? And what did you say, Sammy? Okay on the la na na. Oh, that's sweet sound, bro. Okay. Yes. We're gonna go with Kenneth Roberts for Gimme Five. Small shaker, ukulele, hand drum, flute, voice. Yeah, which hand drum? Like a conga? The one of the hand drums, or we usually we call a hand drum. Well, either way, hand drum, so a conga drum. And no tongue drum. Okay, so I'm gonna move this out of the way so I can make more room. Let me move some stuff around here. Oi! Oh my goodness. And I need to look at it again because I have a very short memory, you guys. Hey, I really appreciate you guys being here. And thanks again to Roseanne for kind of helping out so much with everything that you do, Roseanne. And I hope you have an amazing time tomorrow at the Kodo concert. You will. They're unbelievable. I've seen them once live, and the sound is amazing. And just I mean, they're athletes too. They're like Olympic athletes. I mean, the stamina and the physical fitness of these people, these men and women in the group Kodo is unbelievable. And there's a little documentary that you guys can watch. I think it's like 30 years old now. There's a documentary on Kodo that's very interesting. They because it visits the island. They live on this island together. It's like a community, and they all live there, and they work, they live and practice and play together all the time. It's very intense, very Japanese. But it's all about the discipline and the art form and the craft, you know. So did you say Indian hand drum? I'm not sure we have an Indian hand drum, but how about a conga drum? Let's see. Unless you meant, did you mean Native American? Because I don't have those here right now. Sorry. All right. So I'm just going to use a conga or something. Kodo is Kodo, right? Yeah, Roseanne's got it. And yeah, the Kodo drummers, or Kodo, just put in Kodo. Oh, if you've never heard of them, yeah, do yourself a favor and check it out. It's just amazing. And they play so many different, it's not just taiko drumming. There's flutes, because drum and flute. There's flutes, there's small drums, there's cymbals, there's huge drums played by one player or two players. There's sets of drums. There's all these pieces that they do. It's a very good show. and there's just never a dull moment. It'll be amazing. All right. Okay, so let me see. Let me just go back to this list. Where is it? So small shaker, ukulele, hand drum, flute, voice. All right. So I'll see what I can do. I want to take it in a different direction. In fact, let's get an ukulele sound ahead of time. I want to change it. This is what I do before, you guys. I have the little effects unit down here, and I'll just let me turn this down a little. I just turn the knob. Let's see. Probably not. Oh, that's kind of nice too. Kind of chorused. That's got a lot of delay. Oh. I'm not even sure this thing works properly, but it's weird. It's kind of made for rock, with a rock guitar in mind. All right, I'm just going to leave it there. I think I can use the ukulele as a percussion instrument. That's called a tangent. All right, I'm gonna mute it because it's very noisy. All right, you guys, let's try something. So I'm going to erase what I have in the looper, and we're gonna start over. Let me catch up on the comments just so I don't miss anything. Some uke rockabilly. Yeah, why not? Rockalele. All right, let's see. And vinyl, yeah. You could be like let's see what we can do. Maybe I'll base something on that. I find I want to do something a little faster, so I'm going to speed up the tempo a little, and then I might pick a different groove. All right, let's see what we can do. Should we start off with the rockalele?
World Drum Club.